video, we are creating Ash's Pokemon Horizons team. I will pick 2 teams. First team will be me picking 3 of Ash's already existing Pokemon coupled with 3 brand new Pokemon. And the second team will be all about Pokemon from Paldea, the region in which Horizons is sort of based in. They go everywhere, but it's mainly in Paldea. If you are wondering why I want to create teams for Ash and Horizons, we have to go back to the time when I was wondering to myself if Ash would ever come back. We all know Ash leaving broke the fanbase, that's for sure. Many people departed from the series, and as a result, the new anime lost lots of its viewership. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, Pokemon's a company like any other, and they need to make a profit, and they know that Ash brings in tons of eyeballs. So it's only natural that Pokemon will eventually bring him back to further enhance their wallets. So I may as well predict its team ahead of time so that when he does return, I can brag about how I was right. Let's start by creating team number 1, with 3 returning faces and 3 new Paldean Pokemon. And the first Pokemon I'm picking, drumroll please, Torkoal? Wait, that's not right. Get that trash out of here. Obviously, I'm keeping Corphish. I think this was a no-brainer first pick, considering Corphish has always been there with Ash since the beginning, ever since they met in that one fishing episode. Corphish not only complements Ash well, but Corphish is one of Ash's stronger mons, being able to defeat many hard opponents. Don't ask me what those strong Pokemon were, because I have not a clue. And I'm sure this joke is getting long overdue, so I'll just say that yeah, it's Pikachu, not Corphish. I'm sorry, Corphish fans, if there are any of you listening. You see, I realize Pikachu needs no introduction, and if you aren't a fan of the anime, just know that all you need to know about Pikachu is he's had over 175 battles and won more than 100 of them. He has over a 60% win ratio with that many battles. Now that is no easy task in the anime. Plus, he beat a few legendaries, the best trainers in the world, and best trainer Pokemon in the world. Need I say more? Second Pokemon I decided would be fit for the squad is Cyclizar. I honestly love Cyclizar. He looks like a Jurassic Park Velociraptor who got infused with a motorcycle. It looks awesome. Not to mention in the games, Cyclizar is overpowered, with that one hidden ability to make itself heal, as well as that one move that switches out to another Pokemon that comes in with a free substitute. So not only is it cool, but it's strong. And I think when it comes to Ash, especially now that he's a world champion, he should really be catching these kinds of Pokemon. Imagine Ash's introduction in Horizons is him pulling up with a flippin' Cyclizar. Yeah. I already know I've sold you out on this idea. We're keeping this guy no matter what. Third on the list is none other than the Journey star himself, drumroll, Lucario. Yeah, you thought I was gonna say something stupid like Dragonite. RIP Dragonite's win streak. But anyway, yeah, Lucario, he's pretty dope. Why did I include him? Well, I guess I needed a recent addition to Ash's clan of Pokemon, and who better to pick than the AMV master himself. To be honest though, as much as I like Lucario, he definitely needs to be more fleshed out. His time as Riolu was bad to say the least. Riolu went from sucking to nearly better than Greninja himself in literally 30 episodes. Because once this man evolved into Lucario, it only took losing to be a few times to then bring this absolute unit of power he now is, and thanks to Mega Evolution, he became even more powerful. To put into context, it took Karina forever to master Mega Evolution with her Lucario, and even then Lucario wasn't that strong, since all it took was Ash's already hurt Dragonite to beat Karina's Mega Lucario, which happened earlier on in Journeys. Rant aside, I think if Ash does bring Lucario back in Horizons, we should see some form of training episode or flashback, something to get that bad taste out of my mouth from Journeys. Oh, and when he does return, please have him learn one of my favorite moves, Bone Rush. Oh, it was so cool to see that in XY. Please bring it back. The fourth Pokemon joining the team is Wugtrio. Yeah. As much as I think we need more Wugtrio in our lives, I'm actually gonna select the better water type, Palafin. I had much debate about whether or not to add Palafin here because, yeah, I think it's the more obvious Paldean pick for Ash just because it has hero mode, but I feel like I was trying to find a more unique water type out there, yet it turns out that there's really not. Remember, Ash's strength precedes all other Pokemon trainers out there, so he isn't going to catch a Wugtrio over Palafin, whose literal ability is to turn into a hero. Palafin would just make a perfect addition to Ash's Horizons team, as well as my team, because I still have yet to level up my Palafin in Pokemon Scarlet. Bring in the next Mon, we got an OG? It's Charizard. Guess I brought out the big guns for Ash's Horizons team. Realistically though, I want Charizard because I wanted an OG Pokemon that was highly skilled and recognizable to the old school fans. And I know we got a little bit of a cameo in Pokemon Journeys where we saw Ash's Charizard again, but when was the last time he actually used it? I'm like 100% sure it was in Black and White, where Ash showed Iris his Charizard. Pokemon should do that again, but maybe another for Roy Suicune so he can have 2 Charizards to look up to. And also, Ash needs a new way to get around, right? I mean, his Pikachu can't fly, unfortunately. I know everyone is probably sick of seeing Charizard's face plastered everywhere in the Pokemon anime, but come on, it's Ash's Charizard. We rarely ever see him anymore. 6 Pokemon on the first team, and I went with Garganacl. Bit of an odd one, I know. Yet at the same time, this wouldn't be the first we see of Ash having owned strange, bulky Pokemon who came out of nowhere and joined his team. Seeing what Garganacl can do firsthand leads me to believe it would be really cool to see someone fight it in the anime, and who better to wield that kind of power than Ash himself. This guy, I would probably be the least upset if he ended up not being on his team, yet I still think it would be another great addition. Although Ash already owns some pretty beefy Pokemon, Garganacl usually is used in a unique way, so seeing Ash go on a more defensive playstyle would be pretty nice. Yet, it's always fun to watch Ash go full offensive mode with defensive Pokemon. With that out of our way, we have finished the first Pokemon team. I think it's pretty solid. We got Pikachu, Cyclizar, Lucario, Palafin, Charizard, and Garganacl. The second team is compiled of all new Pokemon for Ash, handpicked by yours truly, so without further ado, let's start picking. Number 1 is the number 1, Ash's Pikachu. That's right, everyone's new here besides Pikachu, so really I'm picking 5 new Pokemon. And now that I'm thinking about it, it would be really cool to see Ash's Pikachu and Cap fighting it off to show which Pika is truly the strongest. Because Cap's got some deadly drip that Pikachu would have a tough time beating. Number 2. This might be a surprise to a few people, but I went with Gholdengo. I assume Ash being Ash will somehow manage to collect all these little dudes and be that one guy who has a Gholdengo. I mean, like, come on. What else is Ash gonna do anyways, now that he's basically free to do whatever he wants? Fight some more gyms, become a teacher, maybe even a contest performer? Like, no. He's gonna crawl around all of Paldea, scoundering through every little alleyway to find and stuff as many of these mini dudes as he can into his pockets until he can create the Golden Noodle Man himself. It's not like he hasn't done anything crazy like this before. Melmetal is a mythical legendary Pokemon. People like saying it's mythical when I called it a legendary and vice versa, so I'm just gonna call it both. Gholdengo could be very powerful. The moves you can put on this guy, plus the fact that it's a special attacker, just makes for a deadly combination. And it's a treasure guy. It just feels like an Ash Pokemon. Actually, scratch that. Now this honestly sounds more like a Roy Pokemon. I'm still counting it though. Numero 3. We got a dude named Armorosh. I'm pretty sure it's inspired by Mega Man from that one Nintendo game, but without the face, and his armor is painted a slightly different color. We've already seen someone who has a Ceruledge, so it wouldn't make sense if 2 predominant characters in the show had the same Pokemon. That would just be weird. I think Armorosh fits Ash more anyway, because he resembles the Mega Man guy, who is also like Ash because they were both small and blue. It's also a fire psychic type, and while Ash already has an abundance of fire types, he only has one psychic type who isn't exactly confirmed to be his Pokemon anyway. Well, I guess he did use him in that one Journeys episode, so whatever. But the typing would be great to see along with Ash's very diverse team. When I was deciding which Pokemon I wanted Ash to have, I knew I wanted to have a derpy looking Pokemon, as every single one of Ash's teams in the past always had one dopey, sludgy looking guy. So my 4th Pokemon is Clodsire. Come on, look at this thing. That face deserves an Oscar right there. But it is a pain in the ass to go up against in the games. Like, once that thing plops down on the battlefield, it doesn't come off. This Ash, I'm telling you, is gonna be your secret ace Pokemon, like how Goodra was the secret ace Pokemon on your team in Kalos. The Claude is now gonna be yours in Horizons. There's not much else I can say about this dude. He's bulky, strong, lightning fast, and ultra handsome. It's perfection if it was a Pokemon. Well, almost. Goodra takes that place. This pick may or may not be obvious, but I want Ash to catch Paldean's pseudo-legendary Pokemon, Baxcalibur. If you've watched that one video in which I chose the best Pokemon per letter, you already know a little bit about why I love Baxcalibur. It's basically a dinosaur, and ever since Ash didn't catch Tyrantrum from XY, it left me with a bit of a hole in my stomach. So naturally, I want him to catch another dinosaur Pokemon. I did choose Cyclizar earlier, but that's not enough dinosaur. And to be honest, if he can catch Dragonite in Journeys, surely he can catch another Pseudo Boy. Oh, and he also caught Goodra too. So yeah, please, Ash, do it for the Dino lovers. I'm assuming you aren't ready for this next Pokemon I chose since it's not a super duper strong one, yet Ash has encountered it not once, not twice, but 3 times in the past. So let's make it official. Ash, you my friend, are getting finally Dunsparce. Oh yeah, about time we finally caught this guy, and thanks to the new evolution making Dunsparce even meaner, I don't see a better time to catch this little worm insect thing. I'm sure there was probably a stronger Pokemon more suitable than Dunsparce. Perhaps he can catch one of the new legendaries or pull up having finally caught Solgaleo. But nah, I'd rather see him with big boy Dun. He's more realistic, but maybe not since Pokemon has given Ash a mythical legendary and even an Ultra Beast. But whatever. This is Ash's second team created from the ground up by me. We got Pikachu, Goldengo, Armorage, Clodsire, Baxcalibur, and finally Dunsparce. I hope when Ash does eventually return, which he will at least use one of the Pokemon I picked, because I really do believe he'll make his grand return later down the road, but not now, since it would be too soon. What are your guys' Pokemon Horizons Ash teams? I wonder who is gonna have the closest team prediction to what his actual squad will be. I guess we'll have to find out. Join my Discord. Bye.